The Galactic Council chamber was a marvel of engineering, a sprawling dome of shimmering alloy and holographic displays, representing the pinnacle of unity among the stars. Delegates from 100 species sat in their designated pods, their voices a symphony of clicks, growls, and hums. Yet in the center of it all, the human delegate, Ambassador Elena Reyes, stood silently, her presence almost an afterthought. For decades, humanity had been a footnote in the annals of the Galactic Council. They were the newcomers, the primitive species that had barely mastered interstellar travel when the rest of the galaxy had already colonized entire star systems. The Council tolerated them, but rarely listened. Humanity's voice was soft, their technology rudimentary, and their influence negligible. But today, Elena Reyes was not here to beg for attention. She was here to remind them. "The human delegation requests the floor," she announced, her voice steady but carrying an edge that made the ambient chatter falter. The High Arbiter, a towering insectoid from the Zinth Collective, tilted its head. "Ambassador Reyes, the Council is currently discussing matters of galactic security. Unless your species has something of relevance to contribute, we suggest you remain silent." Elena smiled, a small knowing curve of her lips. "Oh, we have something to contribute. You see, while the Council has been busy debating, humanity has been busy surviving. And surviving, as it turns out, is something we excel at." The chamber erupted in a mix of laughter and derisive clicks. The Zinth delegate, a being with iridescent scales and a voice like grinding stone, leaned forward. "Survival? Your species clings to a single star system, barely capable of defending your own borders. What could you possibly offer the Council?" Elena's smile didn't waver. "Let me tell you a story. 2 months earlier, a distress signal had reached Earth. It came from the outer rim of the galaxy, from a small mining colony on the edge of Council space. The colony, home to a mix of species, had been attacked by an unknown force. Ships descended from the void, their hulls black and featureless, their weapons devastating. The colony's defenses were obliterated in minutes. The Council, upon receiving the news, had debated. They formed committees, analyzed data, and argued over jurisdiction. Meanwhile, humanity acted. A single human ship, the UNSS Resolute, answered the call. It was not a warship by galactic standards. Its weapons were crude, its shields laughably weak. But it carried something the galaxy had long forgotten: ingenuity, adaptability, and an unrelenting will to fight. When the Resolute arrived at the colony, they found it under siege by the Black Ships. The attackers were relentless, their technology far beyond anything humanity had encountered. But the humans didn't retreat. They improvised. Captain Marcus Hale, commanding the Resolute, ordered his crew to reroute power from non-essential systems, overloading their engines to outmaneuver the enemy. They used the colony's debris field as cover, launching salvos of improvised explosives crafted from mining equipment. When the enemy adapted, the humans adapted faster. In the end, it wasn't superior firepower that turned the tide. It was humanity's refusal to give up. The Resolute lured the Black Ships into a trap, using the colony's abandoned refinery as a makeshift bomb. The explosion tore through the enemy fleet, leaving the survivors to retreat into the void. The colony was saved, but humanity's victory went unnoticed by the Council. Until now. Elena's voice echoed through the chamber, her words painting a vivid picture of the battle. The delegates listened, some in disbelief, others in grudging respect. "And so," she concluded, "while the Council debated, humanity acted. We didn't wait for permission. We didn't wait for approval. We saw a problem, and we solved it. That is what we bring to the table." The Zinth delegate leaned back, its scales shimmering with unease. "A single skirmish does not prove your species' worth. The galaxy is vast, and its challenges are beyond your comprehension." Elena's smile turned cold. Then let us prove it again. The opportunity came sooner than anyone expected. A week after Elena's speech, the Council received reports of a massive fleet approaching the Galactic core. The ships were identical to those that had attacked the mining colony, but this time, their numbers were overwhelming. The Council scrambled to mount a defense, but their efforts were disjointed. Each species prioritized its own interests, their alliances fraying under the pressure. The enemy advanced unchecked, their ships carving a path of destruction through Council space. And then, humanity stepped forward. Earth's fleets, though small and outdated, moved with a unity that stunned the galaxy. Human ships, retrofitted with scavenged technology and armed with sheer determination, met the enemy head-on. They fought not for glory or territory, but for survival and for the belief that even the smallest species could make a difference. The battle was brutal. Human ships were torn apart, their crews lost to the void. But for every ship that fell, another took its place. And slowly, impossibly, the tide began to turn. The Council watched in awe as humanity's fleets executed daring maneuvers, using their inferior technology to outthink and outmaneuver the enemy. They targeted the black ship's weak points, exploited their predictability, and, when all else failed, rammed them head-on. In the end, it was humanity's resilience that won the day. The enemy fleet, battered and broken, retreated into the darkness. The galaxy was saved, not by the might of the Council, but by the species they had dismissed as insignificant. In the aftermath, the Galactic Council convened an emergency session. Ambassador Elena Reyes stood once more in the center of the chamber, her presence no longer an afterthought. The High Arbiter, its voice trembling with something akin to humility, addressed her. Ambassador Reyes, the Council owes your species a debt of gratitude. We underestimated you, and for that we apologize. Elena nodded, her expression calm but resolute. Don't apologize. Just remember, humanity may be small, but we are mighty, and we will always fight for what we believe in. As the delegates erupted into applause, Elena allowed herself a small smile. The galaxy had forgotten human power. But now they would never forget again.